Okay, good evening students. Again, I am giving a brief idea of plant tissues. First tissues. What you learnt in class 8 also, that cells are the fundamental units of life and cell performs actually all the functions to be called as living. Means cell has to do everything. If it is a plant cell, it has to do photosynthesis. If it is an animal cell, it has also to capture food, digest it, excrete it, and reproduction also. So one cell was performing all the functions. So obviously there was more stress on a cell. That's why you may be knowing, your teacher must have told you that unicellular organisms have very limited time of lifespan. They die early. Now what will happen if all the functions in your home is performed by your mother, right from cooking, cleaning, going to office, making you ready for the school, helping you in studies. So she will be exhausted. In the same way, when the multicellular plants and animals appeared, there was development of tissues also. This is also called as division of labor. Means one type of tissue performing one type of task. No? But what is a tissue? Tissue is a group of cells which are similar in, you can see, structure. Means all are having same structure almost. Their function is same. If the structure is same, function will be also same. Remember this. And the third point I have written, the origin. Origin means where do they come from? Means they come from the same type of cells. So you can now define very well what is a tissue, a group of cells which are similar in structure, function and origin. Understood? Now plants are multicellular, animals are also multicellular, but plants are actually fixed. They are fixed. They don't have to move. So in them there is more of supportive tissue and less of other tissues, because you also know that plants don't have nervous tissue, they don't have neural tissue, they don't have brain, that you have learned. And because they don't move, they also don't have like any tissue like uh, muscle tissues, but they have tissues which help them fixed in one place and don't let them fall down. Now there are also lots of dead tissues also present in the plants which help it. Even the animals are also having dead tissues. For example, horns, hair, nails and the upper layer of skin is also made up of dead tissue. Now one thing you must have also noticed, that plants continue to grow. They don't stop their growth. But in class 8 you studied that all animals are of that type, for that the human being, they stop their growth after a certain period of time. You have learned this, but plants don't stop their growth. They grow continuously. Why they grow continuously? Because they have got a special type of tissue which is called as meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue means dividing tissue, and this tissue keeps on dividing. And when it is dividing, the plant will either increase in height or in diameter, or it will produce new leaves, flowers, fruit, etc. And permanent tissues are also there which don't divide. They have stopped their division. But when need arises, they can divide also. Anyways, now you see I have drawn here one. This simple diagram is your NCERT book. Remember students, please must read your NCERT book. Now this is a plant. This green structure is a plant actually which has been cut vertically. So on the apex means tip मतलब सबसे ऊपर. There is meristem growing tissue. The meristematic tissue which we discussed is called as apical meristematic tissue. Then you also must have seen that in plants the leaves arise from the certain part of the stem or the branches. So the place or the part from where the leaves come out, that is called as node. Node or nodes, plural. And here also there is a special tissue, meristematic tissue, which is called as intercalary meristem. This is above the stem and above the node and below the node. This also helps in growth. If you see, this is a sugar cane I have drawn here, sugar cane stem. Very clearly you can see there are nodes and internodes, very clearly. So this intercalary tissue, this one, is present above also the node and below also node, and it helps in growth of this structure which is generally called as internode. Internode. so the height of the plant increases. But you have also noticed when the plant grows in size, after some time its diameter also must increase, otherwise it will break down. So there is a lateral meristem in plants which is responsible for increasing diameter. Diameter. This means the trunk diameter increases. This is also called as girth. In biology we use the term girth. Girth मतलब मोटा होते जाता है वो. So now you must recognize there are three types of meristematic tissues in the plants: apical meristem, which is present in the shoot tip, and root tip also. And this is responsible for vertical growth. Means the stem grows upward and the root grows downward. It can go in lateral direction, of course. Intercalary meristem, this is also for growth, but it is present at nodes. And lateral meristem is for increasing diameter. And in the next class we will learn about the other thing. The other things means one experiment is there, we will learn how to observe and measure the growth of onion roots. Thank you very much.